thank you to our sponsor, MBA Growth Partners.
Welcome to Studio 501c3. I'm your host, Kim Jones, the CEO of Nonprofit Village, a capacity builder and shared space for nonprofits. This show features nonprofit organizations that provide critical programs and services that are essential in the community. They're all charities designated as a 501c3 by the IRS because they provide a public benefit. And often your donations to them are tax deductible. We're a proud partner of Montgomery Community Media, your public resource that provides access to a variety of information and programs relevant to our community. On this episode, we're talking to Micha Inman, the CEO of College Tracks. College Tracks gives Montgomery County's low-income and first-generation college students the chance to fulfill their dreams and go to college. Micha, thanks for being in Studio 501c3 with us.
Kim, thank you so much for having me.
Great. So I think most important about what I know about College Tracks, because I have followed the organization for a long time, is that it creates the opportunity for students to succeed, and not just succeed by getting accepted to college, but really getting all of the financial aid and then the ongoing support that they need in order to graduate from college. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
All right. Well, why don't you just tell us a little bit more about the College Tracks story and why this model is such a standout among college access programs?
Absolutely. Would love to. College Tracks was founded in 2003 by three parents at BCC High School. And as they were going through the application process themselves, they realized that some of the friends of their children who came from low income backgrounds weren't having the same traction with the college application process. And they realized that there was a need. And so support for those scholars began at BCC High School. Since then, we've grown. I mean, at that time in 2003, we were just volunteers only. We became an organization in 2006, and now we have 30 staff members. And what we do that is critical and has us stand out is that we work with all scholars. We work with them their junior year, as you mentioned, their second semester of their junior year, and then we support them through the financial aid application and college admission process. But we don't stop there, right? We help them find scholarships. We also tell them about the tips to going into college. And then they have the opportunity to not finish once they graduate from high school, because there's still a need for our scholars to persist. And so we have a whole success team that supports our scholars and coaches them through the college completion process. So it truly is an amazing program that makes sure that as our students, who are brilliant and amazing, persist with grit, right, through their years, that we are able to help them understand, because many of them, because they're first gen, they don't know how to navigate through the systems that have been set up and the college application process. They don't know how to do that. And I'm so grateful we are able to fill that gap in the spirit of equity.
Yeah. So, and sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
That's right.
Or you don't have all of the resources around you in order to provide that support. So it's as if this is the thing that really sets College Tracks apart from so many others, is that ongoing support. You don't forget a student when they get to college. So you celebrate them, they graduate high school, they're going on to college, you even got them financial aid, they're not forgotten. So let's talk a little bit for a minute about that success program and what actually happens while they're in college.
Sure. So while they're in college, our success coaches set up meetings with them. They meet with every scholar at least 2 to 3 times a semester, really 3 times a semester, to check in. How are your grades? What does your transcript look like? Have you declared a major? Do you have the classes that you need to fulfill your major? Are you on track? And if you're not on track, what's standing in the way? What are the barriers? So we check on their mental and physical health. We check on, just how is it going? What do you need? What supplies do you need? And did you get the financial aid information? Do you understand it? And if
And it's
not,
those little things that can get
those
you
little
off
things.
track.
That's
Yeah.
right. And not only that, but many of our scholars have distractions more than their peers might. So, they're worried about home. Many of our scholars, and especially during the pandemic, have taken on another job or taken on a job to support their families who have lost their jobs. So it's so critical. The work of our success team is super critical to make sure that we engage with our scholars and that they don't give up, and we continue to help them push and thrive.
Yeah, that's very important. How many students are you serving, and where are you serving students around the county? Because, as you said, this program has grown in 15 years. So, in the minute or so before we take a break, tell me where you're serving and how many.
Sure. We started serving at BCC. We now serve in 5 different MCPS high schools. We have an amazing partnership with MCPS, and we serve over 1,100 scholars in our Access program, our juniors and seniors. And in our Success program, currently, we serve over 500 scholars.
Excellent. All right. This is an amazing program. I think it has become a model for many other programs, not just around the region, but around the country. As I have followed it, I've seen some of those same things get picked up by other college access programs. And again, this is more than college access. This is really about success and making sure that they have everything that they need in order to get through the entire process. I do want to talk a little bit about some success stories. When we come back from break, would you be prepared to tell us a little bit more about a success story, a student, or an experience that has really kind of been a standout for the organization?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. All right, so we need to take a brief break, and when we come back, you're going to hear more about the programs and services provided by College Tracks. Studio 501c3 on Montgomery Community Media. We'll be right back.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
COVID-19 has hit our community real hard.
We're dying from coronavirus at almost double the national rate.
If we come together, we have the power to save what matters to us, our Black lives.
There's power in protecting your loved ones.
There's power in wearing a mask and social distancing.
There's power in knowing the facts and using your voice.
Let's fight COVID-19. Visit bethepowerofus.org.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to Studio 501c3, your window into exceptional nonprofit programs in Montgomery County. I'm talking with Micha Inman, the CEO at College Tracks. So let's go back to the success stories. Tell our viewers a little bit about something that was a real standout for you, the organization, and it kind of drove home, yes, we're doing the work that we need to be doing.
Absolutely. There are so many stories. But one I'd love to share is one of our scholars who, during high school, her family, they immigrated here to the US. So they didn't know how to navigate the college going process, and neither did this scholar, and just happened to be in the hallways. And heard about college tracks, and then connected and realized, I should really get more information about this college process.
Right.
And she did. And we supported her even through a difficult time in high school to apply to seek financial aid and persist to college acceptances. She ended up going to college and completed college, but she had to work at times 6 different jobs at one time.
Wow.
One time she was even living out of her car. But we would check on her, make sure that she had the support, make sure she was okay, to just make sure that she was able to have access to resources that she didn't know perhaps were available to her. And I'm so proud to say that she graduated from college. She now is gainfully employed. She serves on our board now. She is absolutely incredible, and she believes in giving back. And her story is just one of many I've heard of scholars just saying, without college tracks, I don't know where I would be.
Sure. And, and I was going to say, it kind of binds a former student to you. And I'm sure what happens is they come back and they want to do something for someone else. What happens when you're getting back in touch with them after they graduate college? Are you finding that when they come back to the area, they do want to engage? They may want to mentor, they want to share their story, they want to encourage. What happens there?
Absolutely. We're hearing more and more of that because we're still a young organization, but we have more and more graduates every year. Right. And we are hearing that our alumni want to give back. We actually have 2 alumni on our board, and we have 2 alumni on our staff. Okay. So it is just amazing that they want to come back, and we still want to remain connected with them and to continue the networking. But yes, they come back and they want to share their story with other scholars, and for that we are grateful.
Yeah. Well, what about other volunteers? If a viewer sees this and says, I'd like to really somehow engage, are there any opportunities to get trained or to offer services to help identify students, keep them on track, mentor them, share resources? What can you do with the volunteers that reach out to you?
Absolutely. We have volunteer opportunities, and I'd love for anyone who's interested in learning more about us to visit our website, to give us a call to find out more information. Our volunteers, before the pandemic, were able to work with scholars in person at our school sites. So that would be helping with essay writing or giving advice about the application process. Just all kinds of ways in which they could support, even if it was just giving advice about life. Now, during the pandemic, we haven't been able to access our volunteers as much. But what we have been able to do is to send essays still to our volunteers and to have them review and to make phone calls to make sure that our scholars are supported. So we've been creative, but we still have opportunities.
Isn't it funny? Sometimes we forget that we can still make phone calls.
I know. I know.
Oh, sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Just to reach out and to, give gentle reminders. So there are many opportunities for people who are interested to support our scholars to do so. In fact, volunteers can also tutor our success scholars who are in college.
That is great to know. So I am sorry to say that we are out of time, but we've learned so much about how students can really be supported and get through to and through the college process and make that a reality for them through college tracks. So Micha, I really want to thank you for being here and sharing all of this information with us.
Thank you so much again for having me on behalf of College Tracks. We really appreciate it.
For more information on College Tracks, visit their website at collegetracksusa.org. I'm Kim Jones. Thanks for joining us, and come back for another edition of Studio 501c3 on Montgomery Community Media.